in Algebra 2. Almost didn't press record. We are going to do lesson 51 on synthetic division, page 367. And I'm going to kind of veer away from the book's lesson practice just because I don't think it's enough examples. So, but I'm going to walk you through this shortcut. So synthetic division, and you know what, I should erase this. Synthetic division is a shortcut it's a shortcut to long division, so it's a shortcut for dividing by 1 degree binomials. So what I mean by that, this method only works when you're dividing by x plus or minus a number. It will not work if the degree of x is greater than 1. Okay, so this method is a shortcut, but you can only use it for binomials. So that is why I had to teach you long division, because sometimes long division is needed. So I want to, in part A, it does ask us to do long division, but I'm going to change the polynomial so that when we do the shortcut, it makes sense. So we're going to divide the following. We're going to divide 3x cubed minus x squared minus 10x plus 11. We're going to divide this polynomial by the following, x plus 2. Now that right there is a binomial because it only has 2 terms. The word by means 2, or it's not a word, but prefix? I don't know. I'm not an English major. But this binomial has a degree of 1. So I could use synthetic for this, but I want to review long division with you so you can see how much better synthetic is. So let's review how we set it up. So x plus 2 goes out here. 3x cubed minus x squared minus 10x plus 11. There's nothing missing. 3, 2, 1, 0, so I can plug it in the way it is. So here we go. We care about the first term on the outside and inside. So 3x cubed divided by x, that gives me 3x squared. So that's the first thing I'm going to write above the x squared term. Now I'm going to distribute, so 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times 2 is 6x squared. I'm going to draw a line, and I'm subtracting both. So this here, right, it cancels, and I end up with negative 7x squared. And then I'm going to bring down the negative 10x. So now I'm only concerned with this first term, so negative 7x squared divided by x leaves me with negative 7x. So this is the second term to go up here. Notice because this was negative, so is this. So I'm writing a negative 7x up top. Then I'm going to distribute, so negative 7x squared minus 14x. And when I'm subtracting, it changes both of these. So I'm left with 4x, and then I'm going to bring down the positive 11. So last time here, I care about this term here. 4x divided by x leaves me with 4, and there's no negative there, so this is a positive 4. I'm going to distribute, and I'm going to subtract. And so I'm left with a remainder. Remember, this is my remainder of 3. So here's how we would write our answer. 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. That's a positive 3 divided by x plus 2. So I want to clarify something. When we are dividing, our answer should be a polynomial. Okay, so when we're dividing, our answer should be written as a polynomial like this. So let's jump into synthetic. Hopefully you're watching this video. So here we go. We're going to do the same. This is example 1. We're going to do the same polynomial from up above. Okay? So this up here was long division. This is synthetic. So we're going to do the same problem. So 3x cubed minus x squared minus 10x plus 11 divided by x plus 2. So I'm going to go over how to set it up. You're going to draw like this long L. Okay. Now the first thing I'm going to do is solve for x. So x plus 2 equals 0. So x equals a negative 2 because I would have to subtract. And that goes here. Okay. And I'll use my pencil. This right here goes here. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my coefficients. So using a different, I'm going to line up, my coefficients are 3, negative 1, negative 10, positive 11. They're going to go down here. So 3, negative 1, 10, 11. So notice I wrote my coefficients of the first polynomial here. So these are our coefficients. And 11 is technically our constant. And notice they're written in order. Oh, notice I got to bring down that negative 10. It's often forgotten, but you have to bring down the correct sign. So hopefully you're paying attention here because this is a pattern. So first things first, bring the first number down. So I'm going to bring the 3 down. Now I'm going to multiply the number below times the number out here. So 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Then I'm going to add to come down. So negative 1 plus negative 6 is negative 7. I'm going to repeat. Multiply the new number by the number outside of our house. So negative 7 times negative 2 is positive 14. Add to come down. Negative 10 plus 14 is 4. Multiply the new number times the number on the outside. Add to come down. 11 plus a negative 8, or 11 minus 8, is 3. Now, notice these numbers. They're the coefficients here. 3, negative 7, 4, 3. 3, negative 7, 4, 3. So now I'm going to go over how to write your answer. I'm going to start with 1 degree less than my original. So start 1 degree less than original. And then work your way down. So this would be negative 7x to the first, right? But we don't write the 1. This is a positive 4. This here is a positive 3. That right there is our remainder. And then I'm going to write over what we divided it by. Woohoo! So look at that beauty. That is the same answer. If I zoom out, as when I did it with long division. Now, synthetic might seem long, right? Because we just learned it. But you and I are going to practice it, and you're going to see why we call this a shortcut. So let's do this again. We're going to do it for a different polynomial. So we're going to divide, and I'm going to write it different so you're used to it. Divide negative 2x to the 4th plus 6x cubed plus 15x minus 1 by x minus 5. So the reason I can use synthetic is I'm dividing by a binomial, a 2-term, and it has a degree of 1. So I'm going to draw a really long L. Now I'm going to pick up on the fact that I have 4, 3, and this has a 1. So I am missing x squared. So I have to add a 0 when I do synthetic. So remember, the first thing we do is we take what we're divided by and we solve for x. So what minus 5 equals 0? 5. 5 minus 5 equals 0. So that is the number out here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my coefficients in order, but I'm going to add a 0 for the missing term. So watch, -2, 6, 0, 15, -1. So let's go over why I did that. This represents x to the 4th. This is x cubed. This is for x squared. This is x to the 1st. This is your constant, where x is actually technically to the 0th power. So they're in order. Bring the first number below the bar. Now multiply that number by the number on the outside. So -2 times 5 is -10. Now add to come down. So 6 minus 10, or you can read it as 6 plus a -10. Doesn't matter how you read it. Okay, so 6 minus 10 is -4. Now multiply your new number times 5. So -4 times 5 is -20. 0 minus 20 is -20. -20 times 5 is -100. I had to write it a little smaller to fit there. 15 minus 100 is -85. And here's where I need my calculator. -85 times 5, I'm going to extend that out, is -425. -1, and you can use a calculator. You guys, if you're bad at negatives, then you should be using a calculator. 15 minus 100. That's where I got the -85. -85 times 5 is where I got the -425. -425 minus 1 gives me a remainder of 426. So here's how we write our answer. We start 1 degree less. So if this is x to the 4th, we're going to begin with x cubed minus 4x squared minus x to the 1st minus this would be x to the 0, right, which is gone, over what we divided it by. And that here is our answer. Isn't that beautiful? So, I don't know what happened to my watch. Next one. So we're going to go back to our lesson practice, part B. So it says to divide -2x cubed plus x squared plus 5x minus 1 divided by x minus 3. So if you'd like to pause the video, see if you can set it up, and then you can check back with me in a second. So this should be 3, -2, make sure you leave space, 1, 5, -1. Okay, so if you push play, this is how you should have it set up. There are no terms missing because this is a 1, so 3, 2, 1, 0 x's. Okay? This is a positive 3 because you have to solve this. And 3 minus 3 equals 0, so x equals a positive 3. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and fill it in, go ahead and bring the first number down and see if you can fill it all in. Push play and check with my work. So here we go, -6, -5, -15, -10, -30, -31. That should be your numbers. This gives me -2x squared minus 5x minus 10 minus 30 divided by x minus 3. And that, my friends, is your answer. It's a lot faster than long division. All right, now we're going to continue using synthetic, but we're going to go over how to use synthetic to evaluate. So when we use synthetic to evaluate, our answer is just the remainder. Okay, so synthetic is also a shortcut to substitution. So for part C, in your lesson practice, it asks us to find the value of the function of f at -2 for f of x equals x to the 5th minus 2x cubed minus x squared plus 10. Now you could, right, the old method would be to put -2, I'm substituting it in, and then the next term, and keep going, right? I'm plugging -2 where the x is. Or I can use synthetic. So I'm going to set it up. This already, x equals -2. X is already solved. So I'm simply going to put -2 here. Now, noticing up here, x to the 4th and x to the 1st are missing. So I'm going to use a 0. So I've got a coefficient of 1, but then I'm missing to the 4th, -2, -1. I'm missing x to the 1st, 10. So if you need to see what each of these is for, this is x to the 5th. X to the 4th is missing, x cubed, x squared, x to the 1st, x to the 0, or your constant. So you have to fill 0 in if anything is missing. So I'm going to fill this in, 1. 1 times -2 is -2. 0 minus 2 is -2. -2 times -2 is 4. -2 plus 4 is 2. -4, -5, 10. 0 plus 10, -20, -10. Now, because I'm evaluating, my answer is just -10. So the function at -2 equals -10. Okay, I'm not dividing here. They asked me for the value of y, which is your remainder. One more. So part D, find, whoa, that does not look like an I and an N. So find the value of this function at 7. I know it was a word problem. For f of x equals -x cubed. I think it's student population. 12x squared minus 8x plus 800. So you can pause, see if you can set it up like part C. I'll give you a second to pause, check your work. Okay, so here you should have 7, -1, 12, -8, 800. Then you can pause and fill it in and check your work with mine. -7, 5, 35. This should be 27, 189, 989. So 989 students. Pretty cool. So for this section, skip number 6, 15, 17, 19, 23, 24, and 30. Thank you.